Testing. Can you hear me? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your patience. We are going to open today's press conference with Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava, followed by Board of County Commissions Vice Chairman Anthony Rodriguez, Commissioner Juan Carlos Bermudez, Commissioner Kevin Cabrera, Commissioner Danielle Cohen-Higgins, Department of Emergency Management Director Pete Gomez, followed by Creole translation, and then we will open it up for Q&A.
Okay, great. Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. It's that time of year. Thank you for being here. So I want to start by taking a moment to thank everybody who makes our preparedness possible. We are dealing with hazards all year round, not just in heat, flood, or hurricane season. So our Board of County Commissioners, our Chairman Oliver Gilbert, our Vice Chairman, who's with us here today, Commissioners Juan Carlos Bermudez, Danielle Cohen-Higgins, Kevin Cabrera, thank you for joining us. And I'd also like to recognize that we have representatives here from the offices of Commissioner Mickey Steinberg and Commissioner Keone McGee. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And also thank you to the National Weather Service and all of our partners at the local, state, and federal levels, and the many nonprofits and community-based organizations that work to prepare our community and, in fact, have a formal partnership and relationship with our Department of Emergency Management. We cannot do this alone. And, of course, our many county departments that are involved all year long in helping us prepare, and especially during this critical season, helping to keep us safe. So thank you to all the directors that are with us here today. Thank you, everyone. It takes all of us, a village, to be prepared for extreme weather and storms. Traditionally, each year, we announce the start of hurricane season, which runs from June 1st to November 30th. But the reality is that here in Miami-Dade County, we're not only susceptible to hurricanes, but other kinds of hazards that come as a result of extreme weather, like heat, storms, and floods. And we know that climate change is only making these worse. Today's goal is to share information that will get you prepared for anything, starting with the heat that we are all feeling. May 1st through October marks our annual heat season, and we are hot. Last year was the hottest summer on record, and we did not even have an extreme heat advisory until mid-June. But this year, we have the hottest last week in May. That was the hottest week on record in May, and we've already had in May extreme heat advisories, several days. So, with all of that, that is why I appointed the world's first ever Chief Heat Officer, Jane Gilbert. She works proactively to protect everyone from extreme heat, especially the most vulnerable. And there are things we can all do to stay cool and safe. Heat-related illnesses and deaths are highly preventable. And if you're not feeling well in the heat, do a 3-step heat check. Drink water, find shade, and rest. You can pop by any of our public air-conditioned facilities like our libraries, our community centers. We want you to be safe, and we have cooling centers for you. And for our 4-legged family members, make sure your pets always have access to water and that they're groomed comfortably for the hot weather. Our Animal Services Department has more tips for the pet safety, so follow Animal Services on social media. And you can also find heat safety tips in our Hurricane Readiness Guide this year. So All of our homeowners receive this in the mail, and they are available at libraries and other public facilities, and we'll touch more on that later. Well, so that was May 1st, started heat. May 15th marked the beginning of rainy season. As climate change continues to threaten our community, that means we will see more intense storms. And being storm ready includes preparing for flooding that comes with that storm. And here in subtropical Miami-Dade, we're accustomed to heavy rains and flooding throughout the year, but especially during rainy season and late in the fall when we start to experience king tides. I want to highlight a few reminders. Stay off the roads if possible. It is never safe to drive or walk into floodwaters. Turn around, don't drown. If you are driving and hit a flooded road, turn around, don't risk it. Help minimize impacts to our wastewater system by keeping the manhole covers closed and decreasing the water use in the morning and the evening, the heaviest usage times during heavy rain. You can really help us prevent overflow of our septic system, our sewage system. Prepare your business and home for flooding no matter where you live, but particularly if you are in a low-lying area near water or downstream from a dam or canal pump. And just as we ask our residents to prepare, our county teams are also ready to respond to reduce flooding in hot spots. Our water and sewer department is ready to install temporary dams in vulnerable areas, drain the wastewater system where possible, increase staffing at all wastewater treatment plants, and prepare vacuum trucks to deploy as needed. Our Department of Transportation and Public Works is prepared to remove debris, especially in low-lying areas, inspect all storm water pumps and drains, and respond to flooded areas. Our Department of Regulatory and Economic Resources, in close coordination with the South Florida Water Management District, makes sure that canal water levels across Miami-Dade are low, and we monitor them before, during, and after a rain event. And our Department of Emergency Management, housed right here, monitors the weather updates to assess the impact on county services while coordinating across all county resources to ensure readiness. You'll stay tuned. We'll be releasing an updated flood plan for Miami-Dade County in the coming month. This county-wide coordination is critical, and stay tuned because soon we will be releasing that plan. All right, that brings us to June 1, next week. As we head into Memorial Day weekend, now is the perfect time to make a safety plan and prepare your storm kit because June 1 starts officially hurricane season. It's a good time to sign up for alerts through our county communication channels for updates on developing storms when they happen so that together we can all stay safe. This year, the Atlantic hurricane season is expected to be an extremely active one with the most named storms ever predicted. We know that just one storm can cause a catastrophic impact, so we must ensure that we are safe and prepared as we can possibly be. And I want to remind everyone of 3 key steps to take to be informed this and every hurricane season. 1, stay informed. 2, be storm ready. And 3, make a plan. So first, to stay informed, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is for everyone to stay informed before, during, and after a storm. I say this especially for the new residents. If you haven't experienced this, please make sure you are prepared. Whenever we face a storm, accurate information is key. There are many ways to get updates. You can go to our website, miamidade.gov, to sign up for Miami-Dade Alerts. Type alerts into the search window and follow the directions. You can download the app. That was, I sponsored as county commissioner. I'm very proud of our Ready Miami-Dade app. And everyone should get it as we head into the hurricane season. And you can download it from Apple Store or Google Play and follow our county's X account and Facebook account or call 311. So number 2, be storm ready. Most of you should have already received this 2024 Hurricane Readiness Guide. It's in 3 languages and delivered to every household in the county annually with information in the 3 languages. If you have not received it, you can also get it online at miamidade.gov/hurricane, or you can get it at county libraries. It includes helpful tips like trim your trees, now, don't wait. Prepare your storm shutters. Make sure they work now, don't wait. Have enough food and supplies on hand to keep your family safe for 72 hours after a storm has passed. And make sure your electric vehicles are at least half charged and your gas tanks at least half full. As a reminder, you do not need to go out and buy water. Miami-Dade County water from the tap, Everglades' finest, is first class. Third, make a plan. We want to make sure everyone knows exactly what to do and where to go in case of an evacuation. There are three main questions to ask yourself. Do I live in a flood or surge zone? What will I do if I need to evacuate? And what do I need to know about evacuation centers? Our Department of Emergency Management has every detail of this process down pat. Our Director of Emergency Management, Pete Gomez, will share more details on how to make an evacuation plan and everything you need to know, including which shelters are pet-friendly. Although these tips may not be new to many of you, it's important for all of us to stay prepared for any storm that comes our way. We continue to work closely with our municipalities to ensure that everyone is prepared for all extreme weather hazards. So we're not just talking hurricanes, floods and heat as well. And we're committed to building a more resilient, future-ready Miami-Dade. This includes being ready for anything. So let's be smart, let's be prepared, and stay safe this summer. Unas palabritas en español. Cada año anunciamos el inicio de la temporada de huracanes, pero la realidad es que en Miami-Dade no solo nos afectan los huracanes, sino también otro tipo de eventos que llegan como resultado de los cambios en el clima, como el calor extremo, las tormentas y las inundaciones. Hoy vamos a compartir información que los prepara para cualquier evento de clima extremo. La temporada de calor va desde mayo hasta octubre. Todos podemos hacer cosas para refrescarnos y mantenernos a salvo. Las enfermedades y muertes relacionadas con el calor se pueden prevenir. Si están al aire libre, tomen mucha agua, busquen sombra y descansen. Pueden refrescarse en cualquier edificio público con aire acondicionado, como las bibliotecas o los centros comunitarios de nuestro condado. También protejan a sus mascotas con mucha agua y sombra. El 15 de mayo marcó el inicio de la temporada de lluvias y eso significa que debemos estar preparados para posibles inundaciones. Durante las inundaciones, preparen sus negocios y hogares, no manejan ni caminan por calles inundadas, dejen las tapas de las alcantarilladas cerradas, no usen tanta agua por la mañana y por la noche cuando está lloviendo. Y durante la temporada de huracanes, que ya comienza en la próxima semana, que corre el 1 de junio hasta el 30 de noviembre, quiero recordar a nuestros residentes 3 pasos clave para estar preparados en esta temporada de huracanes. Primero, infórmense. Visiten nuestra página web miamidade.gov, descarguen la aplicación gratis Ready Miami-Dade, síganos en las redes sociales y llamen al 311. Segundo, prepárense para la tormenta. Recorten los árboles. Ahora no esperan. Preparen los shutters para las ventanas. Tengan reservas de alimentos y artículos higiénicos que duren 72 horas. Aprovechen la temporada libre de impuestos para comprar lo necesario. Tercero, hagan un plan. Contestan estas preguntas. Si vivo en una zona de inundación, ¿qué hago si necesito evacuar? ¿Dónde están los centros de evacuación? Si usted o un familiar tiene necesidades médicas y necesitan evacuación, inscríbanse en el programa de evacuación de emergencia en la página web o llamando al 311. Muchas gracias a todos. Our Vice Chairman, Anthony Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you all for being here today. I will be a little bit briefer than the thorough advisory our mayor just said, but I would like to remind everybody that while we are known for our beautiful beaches, our great food, and our culture, and many people are moving down to Miami-Dade because of all of these great things, we are also very prone to hurricanes. And I would like to tell all of the new residents that are here in Miami-Dade County to be aware, to take this serious, do not take it for granted, because when we get hit, and God forbid we do, we get hit hard. So you need to be prepared. Take advantage of our state tax incentives that the state of Florida offers to be able to go and supply all the things that you need at home, whether it's flashlights, propane, and many other things for this hurricane season. We have not had a bad hurricane, thankfully, in a few years, but that doesn't mean that it cannot happen. The weather is turning. We have seen 2 very hot summers so far. So be prepared. The good thing that I would like to leave everybody with is that while we all live very busy lives, this community comes together like no other when there is a tragedy. So rest assured that in the event that we do see a hurricane come our way, our community will be prepared, we will be ready, and we are here to assist, and we have everything available for you all in that event. Thank you so much.
Say it in Spanish. That was great. You want to say something?
Oh, sure. I can say it in Spanish. Muchas gracias a todos por estar acá. Nosotros aquí en Miami-Dade County somos residentes, pero también tenemos muchos residentes nuevos que se están mudando para aquí, para el sur de la Florida, por nuestras playas buenas, por nuestra comida y la cultura que tenemos acá, pero con eso también viene huracanes. Estamos en el centro, en un lugar donde sí vienen muchos huracanes y no podemos tomar eso, tenemos que tomarlo seriamente. So, cuando sí eso desafortunadamente sucede, por favor estén bien preparados. Vayan a las tiendas, compren lo que necesiten comprar, tomen ventaja de los incentivos de impuestos que ofrece el estado de la Florida para equiparse correctamente en el evento de que ocurra un huracán. Estén preparados, pero en el evento de que sí venga uno, les aseguro que este condado se une, somos una familia y estaremos preparados para asistirles a todos en el evento de una tragedia como esa. Gracias.
Good message. And now from our Commissioner of the District, Carlos Bermudez. Juan Carlos.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good afternoon. It's great to have everybody here in District 12, where emergency management is headquartered, and so is the police, so is fire. So it's great to have you all here. First of all, I'm not going to reiterate what the mayor and the vice chairman said. I'm sure my colleagues will add to that, and in particular, Pete, who's going to give us some specific information. But I think the most important thing that I can impart today is to please be prepared. Whether you are a new resident or not, you don't want to be stuck in these long lines. If you've realized in the past, unfortunately, at that point, you're going to be paying more for water, more for canned goods, and you're going to have to be able to be prepared in case anything were to happen. So start preparing today. As my colleague and the mayor mentioned, there is an opportunity to get tax breaks as we prepare for the upcoming hurricane season. And the best message I can give you, the most important message I can give you actually, is to start preparing now. This little book has a great guide on how what you need and the things you should stock up on. So please go ahead and start preparing today. Do not wait till the last moment, because at that time it's going to be long lines and difficult to get. That's the most important message I can give you. Gracias por la oportunidad de estar aquí con ustedes hoy. Bienvenidos al Distrito 12, donde se encuentra el Departamento de Emergencia, los bomberos y también el Departamento de Policía, el distrito que yo con mucho honor represento. Como dijo nuestra alcaldesa y también mi colega Anthony Rodríguez, yo creo que es importante, de todos los mensajes que ustedes van a escuchar, de mis otros colegas hoy también, y en particular del director de emergencia en unos momentos, lo más importante que les voy a señalar es, por favor, empiecen a prepararse. Sean nuevos a nuestra comunidad de otra parte de los Estados Unidos, otra parte del mundo, o sean residentes de vida aquí en el condado Miami-Dade, todos sabemos que cuando viene un huracán las cosas se complican y hay que tener todos los materiales que uno necesita, sea para comer, sea para preparar su casa. Como mencionó la alcaldesa, háganlo ahora. El tiempo para los huracanes técnicamente empieza en menos de una semana. y van a tener la oportunidad de comprar materiales y ciertas cosas que necesitan sin tener que pagar ciertos impuestos por un plan del Estado. Tomen ventaja de eso, pero no esperen hasta el último momento. Y si tienen cualquier pregunta, como mencionó la alcaldesa, este librito que dice Are you ready? Ustedes están preparados. Tiene una lista muy buena de lo que deben de tener como familia en preparación para este tiempo de huracán. Esperamos que, si tenemos suerte, no vamos a tener un huracán como hemos tenido en los últimos años, pero es siempre mejor estar preparado que no. Muchas gracias.
We're going to hear from Commissioner Kevin Cabrera, District 6. I'll go over here.
Thank you, Mayor. And similar to what the Mayor and our colleagues have said, it's very important that as we approach hurricane season on June 1st, that we're ready. Part of having a plan and being ready, as the Mayor said, is making sure you equip your home with the proper supplies, whether it be shutters, impact windows. And one program that's out there that was funded this year to the tune of $100 million by the state of Florida was the My Safe Florida Home Program. And you could apply at mysafeflhome.com. Again, that's mysafeflhome.com. You can be eligible up to $10,000 to equip your home, whether it be impact windows, a new door, all these sorts of things that are important to make sure your home is safe. Again, it's never too early to get started, and that is honestly one of the best ways to be prepared, is to make sure that your home is ready to withstand whatever may be. And what I can tell you, as the Mayor has said and so many of our colleagues, should something occur, we have a police department, emergency department, a team of firefighters, and every other department of this county that, quite frankly, is battle-tested and ready to assist our community to make sure we're ready. Una de las cosas que hemos hablado aquí hoy es estar preparados para la temporada de huracanes que empieza la semana que viene. Parte de esa preparación es tener un plan y parte de ese plan es asegurar que su casa tenga todas las cosas necesarias para, en el evento que venga un huracán o una inundación o algo de ese tipo, que esté preparada. Este año el Estado de la Florida creó un programa, el My Safe Florida Home Program, y puede aplicar en mysafeflhome.com y recibir hasta $10,000 para poder poner, sea ventanas de impactos, una puerta nueva para su casa o otros tipos de cosas de ese tipo para asegurar que esté lista en el evento que hay un huracán. De nuevo, es bien importante que se preparen, que estén listos, que visiten, que hayan recibido este manual y que estén siguiendo las diferentes instrucciones aquí. Y lo que le puedo decir es que, de nuevo, nuestro condado, sea el departamento de policiales, el de emergencia o los bomberos, todos están listos y tienen la experiencia necesaria para asistir a un evento que haya cualquier tipo de huracán. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. And Commissioner District 8, Danielle Cohen-Higgins, thank you as well for joining us. And please say a few words.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, everyone, for being here as we get ready for June 1st, the start of our hurricane season here in Miami-Dade County. I have the pleasure of representing the south of Miami-Dade County, where, due to our geographic location, we're particularly vulnerable to these storms and their impacts. I was here in Andrew, many of us were, and thankfully to our Office of Emergency Management, our Madam Mayor, our law enforcement, our firefighters, we are more prepared than ever before for this upcoming hurricane season. The National Atmospheric and Oceanic Administration predicts that this is going to be the most active hurricane season that we have seen in some time, with as many as 25 storms, 17 potential hurricanes, and 7 potentially going to a Category 3. This is not to be alarming. This is coming out of the NOAA, but this is to message to our residents in Miami-Dade County, the entire county, and particularly the South, that now is the time for each of us to get prepared. We cannot control the weather, but we can control our level of preparation, and we here in Miami-Dade County are all working together to make sure you're informed and prepared. And if you have any questions about evacuation routes, shelters that may be close to your home, visit www.miamidade.gov/hurricane readiness. Thank you so much, everyone.
Oh, you're going to translate now? No. Do we do Creole now?
First and then Creole.
Pete first. Okay, our Director of the Department of Emergency Management, Pete Gomez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Vice Chair, Commissioners, and all my partners that are behind me. Thank you all for being here today. As has been mentioned so many times, so eloquently, we're getting ready for hurricane season. The National Weather Service, NOAA, has predicted a very active hurricane season for South Florida. But as the mayor said, we don't only prepare for hurricanes, we prepare for heat, we prepare for flood. And she mentioned that we're going to have Flood Plan B rolled out real soon. We created a flood plan so that we are able to better coordinate with all the municipalities and all the agencies that are associated with that, including the South Florida Water Management District, our Army Corps of Engineers, so that we have a process in place so we can minimize that impact to the community. But as we get ready for hurricane season, I want the public to understand that you need to prepare now. It's been mentioned before. Those preparations mean getting your yards ready, right? Trim your trees so that the winds can blow right through it. Make sure if you need medications, you got your medications ready, all your important papers, have them packed up. If you need to put them in a hard drive, get it ready so they can go with you. Your cars need to be halfway full of fuel. For those of us that have electric vehicles, make sure that those electric vehicles are halfway charged. Remember, if we lose power, we lose the ability to be able to charge those vehicles, and we're going to find ourselves in a real predicament, right? We also want to make sure that you take care of your children's needs. You make sure if your children have medications, that those medications are filled, that you have those prescriptions with you. Those that are in need of medications, make sure you get plenty, a 1 month supply of medications in case a hurricane strikes, because you're not going to be able to get it from those pharmacies once the hurricane comes through. Make sure that you have enough fuel in reserve in case a hurricane strikes and the fuel companies are not going to be delivering fuel immediately. Remember what happened a few months ago where we had the catastrophe in Fort Lauderdale? It impacted us severely. We've been in contact with the Florida Division of Emergency Management. Make sure that we got a plan, and we're going to have fuel trucks delivered in case we get to those conditions. The other thing I want to remind everybody is take care of your pets, right? Make sure you have enough food supply for your pets. And if you're going to need shelter, that you understand that we do have emergency shelters that are pet friendly. Those of you that need emergency evacuations, I encourage you to sign up for the Emergency Evacuation Assistance Program. When a hurricane is coming and you need to get evacuated, we will come and we will pick you up and we will take you to an emergency evacuation center. And having said that, I want everybody to know, if you go to an emergency evacuation center, they're not the most comfortable places to live in. So just make sure that you understand that you're only going to be there for a short period of time. Once the scene is safe, we want to make sure you're able to get back to your houses. Now, the other important message I want to get across to everybody is know your zone, know where you live, know where your risks are, right? If you're close to the coast, the closer you are to the coast, the more hazard it is and the bigger risk you're facing from storm surges. And that is the worst part of a hurricane, is that storm surge. We run from the water, we hide from the wind, and when we make a decision to evacuate those zones, please take them seriously, because we don't want anybody to get caught up there. Understand that there comes a time when police and fire will not respond. Our police department, our fire department, it was mentioned before, they're battle tested. But at 39 miles an hour, they will stop responding because it puts them at a hazard. Their high water vehicles are going to be susceptible to the wind conditions, so we will stop responding at that point. Please, if you are in those areas, make plans to evacuate early on. And the other thing I want to get across is, when we say evacuation, we don't expect you to leave the state of Florida. We just want you to get away from those areas that are most at risk. Just come in somewhere inland where the areas are safe. As a matter of fact, Commissioner, Doral is a great place to come visit, right? You don't need to get out of the state of Florida to find a safe location. Just get out of those areas that are in those inundation zones. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the mayor for future remarks. Ahora o después. I'll do it.
Ahora.
A lo mejor van a tener que tomar 2 o 3 takes. Bueno, muchas gracias por estar aquí. Como sabemos, estamos preparando para la temporada de de los huracanes. Hemos visto los últimos años el peligro que traen los huracanes, especialmente lo que pasó en la costa oeste. Le quiero dar el consejo a la comunidad que sepan dónde viven y los riesgos que tienen en esa comunidad. Uno de los riesgos más grandes que tenemos son las mareas ciclónicas que traen estos huracanes, y eso es el peligro más grande que traen los huracanes. Nosotros corremos de las mareas, pero los escondimos de los aires, de los vientos que traen los huracanes estos. Esta temporada, la predicción son que vamos a ser una temporada muy activa, que quiere decir que están esperando que van a haber muchos huracanes o tormentas en esta área. Le quiero dar el consejo también que estén bien preparados, que hagan sus planes, si tienen que evacuar, que sepan cuáles son las zonas donde viven y qué son las rutas que tienen que tomar para evacuar de su barrio. Y cuando digo evacuar, no quiere decir que tienen que salir del estado de la Florida, nada más que salgan de esa área que tengan más riesgo a una área que está más protegida. También que tengan los planes preparados. Si toman medicina, que tengan todas sus medicinas, las recetas listas para salir, que tengan todos los documentos importantes con ustedes para poder sacarlo de ahí, que tengan suficiente petróleo en los carros, y en estos días tenemos los vehículos que son electrónicos que estén cargados por lo menos al nivel medio para poder actuar una evacuación si necesitan. Y también que se comuniquen con una familia, que sepan dónde van a estar y si se van a evacuar. Y si no van a evacuar, que sepan dónde están, por si acaso hay que dar asistencia después.
Okay. Now we'll have Haitian Creole, and then we will hear from the Weather Service.
Bonjour tout le monde. Je dis encore, comme toute année, nous venons pour nous faire une présentation pour l'année ça qui commençait avec une période qui est très active. Saison cyclone a commencé à partir du 1er juin, mais à partir du 1er mai, nous déjà entré dans la saison chaleur. Saison chaleur, côté en pile, moun absenti au chaud en pile, et tant pris songer pour boire un pile de l'eau, rester réhydraté, sous sent tout chaud, aller en côté qui fait frais, aller dans l'ombraille pour capable protéger tête. Si vous allez dans guide pour cyclone que nous voyons bas pour préparation cyclone, vous avez joindre une partie qui est consacrée seulement pour question période de chaleur. Pendant la période ça tout, à partir de 15 mai, il y a une période de la pluie qui commence. Dans la période de la pluie, ça, il y a une pile chance capable de gagner inondation. Faites attention pour apprendre qu'on est qui côté, dans quelle zone côté, est-ce que c'est une zone qui est sensible à l'inondation. À partir du 1er juin jusqu'à 30 novembre, nous entrons dans la période côté un cyclone, c'est une période qui est vraiment active. Tant pis, songez pour nous prêter attention à tête nous, pour nous faire préparation qui est nécessaire. Chaque fois que saison cyclone est présentée, toujours qu'on est pour nous être informés. Les zones d'information que nous gagnons, c'est miamidade.gov/hurricane dans langue anglaise. Toujours aller là pour nous capables d'informer nous. Nous devons aller dans le même site ça tout pour nous taper alerte, et comme ça nous recevoir toute alerte qui est nécessaire pour nous capables protéger tête nous. Pour les gens qui ont une machine, songez, chaque fois que un cyclone, gagnez 2000 tanks nous full avec gaz, ou bien si c'est machine électrique que nous gagnons, il faut machine nous à moitié chargée avec énergie, parce que sans quoi nous sommes capables de gagner un problème. L'autre bagaille que nous gagnons, non seulement pour nous rester informés, mais il faut nous rester constamment en contact avec données qui sont sorties dans le département gestion d'urgence qui est sorti ici, ou bien dans Miami-Dade, website Miami-Dade là. Songez, pas arrêter chercher information de l'autre côté, rester attaché sur site Miami-Dade là à travers X ou bien à travers Facebook, suivre toute information qui est sortie. Il y a un bagage que nous devons dire avant de finir. Si vous avez un bagage pour débrancher la caillou, protéger fenêtre, faire attention. Lorsque vous avez pour sortir dans le cas où il y a une évacuation, faire attention pour sortir avec tout bagage qui est nécessaire au moins pendant 72 heures de temps. Merci un peu.
Merci. Let me just say, I just want to recognize that for the questions, we have here many departments represented, our police, our fire, our resilience, our airport, our seaport, our solid waste, our corrections, and the National Weather Service.
So we're going to open up for questions now.
Para Robert, sobre la actualización del clima, lo que va a pasar, el número de tormentas que están identificadas y la fuerza que tiene. Robert, muchísimas gracias.
Sí, muchas gracias. Robert Molleda, meteorólogo a cargo del Servicio Nacional de Meteorología aquí en Miami. Ya como han oído, se espera en el mar Atlántico entre 17 y 25 tormentas tropicales, tormentas en general, de las cuales de entre 8 y 13 pudieran llegar a ser huracanes y de 4 a 7 huracanes de mayor intensidad. Eso no quiere decir de que el sur de Florida va a ser azotado. O sea, han habido muchos años en que ha habido mucha actividad. Por ejemplo, en el 2020 tuvimos 30 tormentas, pero casi nadie se acuerda de esta temporada de huracanes en Miami porque no fuimos azotados. O sea, hay que tomar en cuenta, hay que considerar lo que significa este pronóstico, y como siempre hay que estar preparado cada año. Lo mismo, o sea, no debemos de cambiar nuestro nivel de preparación debido a este pronóstico. Este pronóstico se usa un guía general, no especifica qué zonas van a ser afectadas, porque simplemente eso no lo sabemos hasta que se empiecen a formar estos fenómenos.
Hablaba usted de marejada ciclónica. Hay afectación en Broward, en Hollywood. Hemos visto cómo incluso ha cobrado cancha, ha perdido espacio el área de caminería. Acá en Miami Beach, en el condado de Miami-Dade, ¿se puede registrar algo parecido?
Bueno, las zonas de planificación para la marejada ciclónica están definidas y están determinados basados en el riesgo de la marejada ciclónica de huracanes de varias intensidades, o sea, desde categoría 1 hasta 5. O sea, eso está bien indicado en los mapas del condado, y en el guía también está en esa zona. O sea, es muy importante saber en la zona, si uno vive en una zona de evacuación, y tanto en Miami-Dade como en el condado de Broward. Yeah, in English, yes. Yeah, Robert Molleda. I'm the meteorologist in charge at the National Weather Service here in Miami. And, we've all seen and heard the seasonal forecast that was just released by NOAA today, 17 to 25 named storms, of which 8 to 13 could become hurricanes, and of those up to 7 could become major hurricanes. It's important to understand this is not a local forecast. This is a general forecast for the entire Atlantic Ocean. So hopefully we will be lucky like we have been in past years, but we have to be ready the same way every year, whether you're a new resident or an old resident like me. We need to be ready the same way every year because we are in a highly hurricane-prone area. Our history alone tells us that. So it's very important that we're ready. We talked about storm surge. You've already heard storm surge is the leading weather-related killer from hurricanes in the United States, and South Florida certainly is no exception to that. So very important that we know our zone, as you heard Pete, the Emergency Management Director, say, because those are the areas that are potentially most at risk from this very, very deadly part of the hurricane. So again, it's about being ready, making sure that we pay attention to watches and warnings that are issued by the National Weather Service. Those are our communication or risk communication guides. So in other words, that's our message to the public as to what our risk is and what we need to do when watches and warnings are issued. And then finally, it's about trusting the local sources, trusting these sources of information. When we have storms out there, the National Weather Service, we're embedded here in the Emergency Operations Center. We're working very closely with the emergency management staff. We're working very closely with everyone in this room to make sure that the community gets the same information, consistent information, and timely information so that we can be ready for any storms that may affect us this year or any other year.
Any other questions?
Sí, para la alcaldesa. Usted ha mencionado en su discurso unas 5 o 6 veces cambio climático. Hoy estamos ante un pronóstico de esta temporada de huracanes. ¿Va a ser peor en los próximos años como consecuencia de políticas que se firman en el Estado, como el que vimos la semana pasada por el gobernador Santis?
Nosotros estamos enfocados en la protección de nuestros residentes y vamos a seguir así.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Well, thank you.
Sorry.
Yes.
I wonder if the mayor or someone else up there can talk a little bit about protecting workers, protecting the public from the heat in light of the recent state legislation that limits what local communities can do?
So we know that workers who are especially prone to heat-related illness are outside working, whether it's construction or agriculture or many county workers. And we believe that employers need to do the right thing, make sure there's adequate rest, shade, and water. We as a county employer have a policy to do that for our workforce, and we will be continuing to do our major education efforts. Our Chief Heat Officer, Jane Gilbert, is here, and she could talk to you more. We're doing trainings, we're doing public education, and people are very eager for that information.
Thank you all for coming.
En español, alcaldesa, podría decir palabras en español.